Alright, and welcome back to Wildewitch RP's live play of our Burning Veil campaign, Scions of the Skyfire. What is Wildewitch RP, you may ask? I'll tell you. Wildewitch RP is me, Faye, your game master and storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We're a couple who love role-playing games and sharing stories with all of you so much that we quit our day jobs and created our own company so that way we could create high-quality TTRPG experiences full time. We've been very fortunate along the way to meet many awesome, amazing players who have joined us on our adventure, including the players who are with us tonight, and you can join them in all the fun. To get started playing with us, just join our Discord and website community, where you can sign up for games, meet us and all of our players, talk about your favorite characters and stories, and even roleplay on our forums. We've got plenty of games that happen every day, Monday through Saturday, so that way you can play in our Mortal Guardians episodic campaign and fight back against the evil Coven of Zol and their dark masters from the void beyond the stars. We also offer high-quality custom quests, magic items, of course our Burning Veil campaign that runs alongside the Mortal Guardians, as well as our playthrough of D&D's Dragonlance campaign. So, take a moment during the game to join us and introduce yourself. We can't wait to see you at the table. Now, speaking of the table, let's get started with tonight's game. And we pick up in Atravenza. You have been invited to the Moonward Leaf after having successfully rescued not only the missing Ansel, but a handful of other hostages as well, including the one of the daughters of a very prominent family, Lyriantha. And not only have you been invited to dinner, you've been invited to stay at the guest house. And that invitation extended beyond just yourselves, Bracken, Avi, and Cecil, but to your companions as well. Let me just make sure I've got all of your notes. Ulcus, Ron, Lorcan, Ansel, and the newest addition, Carrot. When we left off, you had been approached by Lady Lysira, as well as her husband, Tyvius, and extending their official invitation for you all to join them for dinner. And we pick up as you are entering in to the dining room, moving off of the moon viewing pavilion. The table is set up ornately, elegantly. Enough seating for everybody. And the table settings are understated. Not gauche or entirely lavish, though it does speak of a high standard of living. As the figures of Lady Lysira and her husband, Tyvius, sit at either end and welcome you all to choose your own seats, though Lyriantha does sit next to on her mother's right hand. So,
Cecil would just want to sit on the opposite side as Cadrip. Keep an eye on him.
okay.
Bracken's gonna make his way and just find a best seat for him that makes sense. He's not too accustomed to the situation.
Avi's gonna take a seat just a few away from Lyriantha.
Okay. Uh, as you take a few, puts you middle of the table almost. Ron will sit on one side. You have Cadrib sitting on your next. He seems to have found a liking for you, Avi.
Sure.
Now, when Cecil says opposite Cadrib, full opposite or just across the table?
Just full opposite's fine.
Okay, so that will put you next to Lady Lysira, as Cadrib
cool.
sits next to Tyvius. So you are staring across the way at Lyriantha. And then Bracken, you said wherever. Lorcan sits next to Cecil. Olcus will sit next to Lorcan.
Can we get a seating diagram here?
I will give you a seating diagram, as that's what I am making right now. Bracken, you are next to Lyriantha and Ron.
In between the two?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And then...
Wait, is Lyriantha the mom?
No, Lysira is the mom. Lyriantha's the
Okay.
daughter.
Got it. Okay, cool. That's a good spot to be.
And then that's Ansel. And we've got the empty seat. Alright.
Empty seat.
Yeah. There's one extra seating place because it would be uneven if there wasn't.
Sure. That's the only reason there's an empty seat.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't like that.
That's literally what they're just gonna have an
I don't trust
uneven.
you.
It's the map. Oh my god.
And all of a sudden,
You-
Tiamat walks out and sits down at the table.
I don't know what you guys are
Oh.
talking about.
A man with slicked black hair comes and sits, and he says, "Hello, my name is Mr. Strahd.
Oh,
It's a pleasure to
damn.
meet you all."
We can run Curse of Strahd, if we get enough people. Alright, I've put it in the group chat, your seating arrangement.
Get to the Discord, everyone, if you want to run a Curse of Strahd campaign. Get some friends together and set up a campaign. Wednesdays and Thursdays are looking pretty empty right now. You can jump in, get that, no trouble.
Gosh. Yeah, you all sit down at the table.
Which?
And the first course comes out. A soup.
Out of how many?
Do you ask?
I'll say, so what are we having tonight?
It is, likely a 5-course meal.
That's a lot of food. I don't know if I could eat 5 meals.
You start off with your soup, you move to your salad, your entree, your dessert, and then a handful of conversational gatherings. Usually fruits and nuts is the mix in our house.
Well, that sounds like 1 meal. But you said there's going to be 5.
No, that is the courses of the meal.
Oh, right. My mistake. And Brackett's just going to sit there with a very confused look on his face.
As the first meal comes out, you are offered
Okay.
water.
First meal.
The first portion of the meal.
Goodness.
Trask shows up in the middle, the dining room. Everyone rolled initiative. Um, so, yeah, you're all given water, and a small wine glass is filled with a white wine. Whether or not you drink it, that is your call, but that is what is served. The soup is a very sort of plain, more a flavorful broth than anything of heavy sustenance. As
Like
it
a
is.
consomme.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
And of course, that's what you see, Lachlan.
Mhm.
So, do you partake in any sort of conversations? Or do you just enjoy the meal as it is?
Yeah, for the first course, Bracken will quickly get as much soup as he can, and when he gets at the bottom with the spoon, he's gonna have like trouble like getting the last bits. So he'll make a move to just like pick up the bowl real quick and finish it off.
You see a smirk on Larianth's face at your side, while Lysira and Tyvius just kind of watch.
I gotta say, this is pretty good stuff.
I will be sure to pass that on to the chefs.
Thank you. So, what do you guys? What's got you sitting so pretty in town?
Hiking.
What? I'm just interested. I'm just trying to make some conversation.
My husband and I, we sit upon the ruling council of Atravenza.
Gotcha. Be a pretty nice gig.
It is one of responsibility.
No mad at that. Is there any bread on the table or anything like that? I'm assuming.
There is not currently.
There's no bread?
Nope, it was just a soup.
Ooh, this. I guess when we're here, we're not family.
My goodness.
Interesting. Bracken will take note of it. He won't comment on it because he doesn't want to be rude, but he's making a mental note for sure.
Okay.
I'm next to her. I'm next to the daughter, right?
You are.
I'll lean over and hey, I don't want to be rude or nothing, but when's the bread coming?
If there is rolls to be served, it will be with the main dish, but that's all dependent on if it goes with the meal.
Well, that doesn't make no sense. If you want you want bread to sop up the rest of the soup, right?
She leans in. I don't know where you hail from. It's rude in our cultures to finish all the meal. We want to partake in the. So all the courses come out on an extended thing, but if you finish everything, you don't have room to sample the entire of the experience.
Well, I'll let you know right now. I could eat like 4 more of those bowls. They're tiny, but that's
Right.
beside the point.
That's because it's the first course out of 5.
Well, I don't know if you're planning on doing, like an entire cow for the 3rd course or whatever, but we're gonna need to pick it up in this case. The idea of wasting food to be polite is crazy to me.
You don't have to waste. You just, like, if you leave that small amount, like, that's why it was funny when you drank the rest of your soup.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm not leaving nothing. If anything's gonna be that good, that was great. Good food's meant to be eaten.
I will definitely agree with you on that.
Anyway, to answer your question, I'm from one of the Fey courts, but that wasn't for me, so I left.
You see that Lysira has perhaps an interest, an intrigue that crosses her brow as you speak this, Bracken.
Unless she asks, I'm not giving it anymore.
She might ask. She may not. She
Yeah.
doesn't at this time.
Fair
I
enough.
take a peek at Cadreb next to me. See how he's handling a fancy dinner.
Neck crab. Oh yeah, cat.
Let's roll a performance check for our little goblin buddy.
I hope he's doing what I'm doing. Oop.
So, he is very much attempting his best. But you see that his best is improperly holding the spoon, and he's barely even using it as he's like leaning down to like not slurp the soup, but adjacent to it.
Oh, okay.
He's trying not to make a mess or too much noise, and like looking at Tyvius, who's nearby, who is also watching this in sort of concern.
Kind of lock eyes with him for a second, and Cadreb.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to get the pretty clothes dirty, so I lean over like this.
Yeah, I understand. Well, first of all, there's a napkin for that, so your clothes don't get dirty. Also, try holding your spoon like this, and I'll kind of fix it. And then scoop the soup, and then bring it up to your mouth.
But it's the small shovel. You gotta hold it like the shovel, so that way when you scoop it, you get the most.
I understand. I know where you're coming from. But try it this way. Yeah?
Okay.
That's all I ask is that you try.
Of course. No, you gave the pretty clothes, so you got the connections. So I'll try it.
Okay.
So he begins to try, and it's okay. Definitely, you can see this is a fish out of water situation, but he's attempting.
Bless him.
So the soup is finished, and as soon as it is, the next course comes out, and it is it is salad, but it is not quite as you have seen it in Veil de Mortalis. It is full of more intense colors, and particularly this one is heavy on roots and tuber-like vegetables, and it's a lot of stuff that you would expect to find in the Fagrim, probably where this was harvested. And Olcus actually comments that with a sort of impressed look. Variantha. Ah, you seem to know the realm well. Yeah, I'm native to Wildewitch. I've spent some time in the Fagrim.
Now, did you all cultivate these yourselves?
Tivius, no, we are not much of cultivators, but we are um, connected to many collectors of delicacies and can acquire certain ingredients, perhaps with more ease than others.
It's very good, and we appreciate all of your hospitality.
I can't stress how generous you're being.
Well, it is only fitting since you were able to rescue those hostages. Just a handful of yourselves. That is skill, merit, talent.
Yeah, what can I say? We're good at what we do.
Yes. A handful of you accomplish what I would need 1, 2, maybe 3 troops to do. Very good indeed. As she speaks, Lysira often utilizes her utensils as sort of an emphasis, but doesn't seem to be trying to be threatening. But like, she's putting out a casual air.
Could I insight to see if she's trying to hint at something?
Roll an insight check. Oh no, is it not showing up?
Is it not? It's a 25.
Let me
I'll
just.
refresh.
I might have to refresh.
It's a 30 billion.
Your face is 30 billion.
Wow.
Oh, got him.
So, with a 25, Lysira is likely an expert schemer. Maybe even a manipulator. She's the one that pulls the strings. And perhaps she may be looking at a way to take advantage of your capabilities for use in the future.
I'll keep that to myself for now.
Anyone looking at Katarib during the salad course sees that he is picking apart the salad with his fingers and eating the individual components one by one.
What kind of salad? Give us a tour of the menu. What kind of salad we have here?
I literally already described it. It's heavy
Oh.
on root vegetables and tubers.
Ah, I see. In that case, thank you.
Avi will kind of, just kind of nudge the correct fork and show Kadrib how she's holding it and stabbing the salad with it.
Bracken intends to finish this out.
Okay. Katarib looks to Avi.
It'll get wasted. It gets dirty when your claws can do the work.
Honey, I don't think they're worried about their silverware getting dirty. They have people who take care of that.
He looks down at the fork and holds it a bit cautiously before stabbing down. And
Gentle. There.
Gentle, gentle.
he whispers to himself as he goes again for it, just overloading the fork before taking a bite.
Sure, yeah.
Bracken's in the same kind of spree. He's overloading his fork, getting a good run through any dressing that might be airing on the plate, really making sure he gets the full experience.
Bragging out here speed running the dinner.
Bracken is. This is probably one of the better meals Bracken's gotten in a long time, and he's making. It's kind of that play where you've eaten shitty food for weeks, and then your parents come visit, and you get to go to a nice restaurant. Kind of like that.
Cecil's looking down at that end of the table and pretty much glaring at Catra. Not entertained.
As these different interactions happen over the salad course, salad is finished, and soon the main course comes out, and it is a lovely roast of rote with a berry glaze that has been baked and basted, giving a almost caramelization of the skin. But you can see the still juicy pink insides as it is set atop a roast of vegetables and is served with a slice of a probably made in-house bread. And this smells wonderful, Lyriantha says before she begins to take her first bites.
Avi has already leaned over to Cadrev and is showing him how to properly cut his meat.
You see where, like, you catch him, like, in the moments that his claws are about to tear into it. And then he very pointedly moves to grab the utensils, and tries to mimic what Avi is doing. He is struggling. He so just wants to lean down and just tear into it with his teeth.
You know, I'll just lean over and cut it for him. This is...
Meanwhile, Bracken's just going to town.
He's
He's using utensils.
Katariv's just waiting with the fork nearby to... And you can hear him as you're cutting the meal, Avi.
Gently, gently, gently.
Just shaking from it. Like,
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's ready. Ansel, with a finishing a bite, and that is an excellent preparation. Your chefs must be well trained, perhaps even professionally schooled. Tivius, they have been trained, they do an apprenticeship before they are brought onto our staff, and if they can do a decent enough job on their first apprenticeship, they are welcomed on and may work their way up through the ranks, much as one would do in a restaurant. Speaking of experiences, Lysira says. She doesn't really quite look up from her food. I am curious in yours.
How
Uh,
do you
Go ahead.
That's just my question. How experience in what?
How you came to be able to take down such hostiles and a group so little. Uh, you must have some experience before your arrival in our city.
I mean, yeah, you could say that. We're the I believe what people call us is it archetypes is adventurers.
And as adventurers, you must have gone on adventures. So please, if you would, enlighten me.
Um, I mean, we've primarily kept to Felder Mortalis. This is
A veil is very little consequence for the story. It proves only its setting, no? You are the characters that I am interested in.
we have certainly dealt with a few unsavory characters that are no longer an issue for us. Some that still
Witches here, some dragons there. You know, it really all kind of blends together after a while.
Dragons, you say?
Yeah.
Sure.
It seems that there is a disconnect in stories. Lyriantha in her seat. Mama, please, no interrogations during dinner. It does not seem that her mother is perhaps particularly too interested in heeding her daughter's wishes. So,
There was
she
one
nods.
dragon. We didn't fight it, but we were very close to it.
That is an accomplishment in and of itself.
I suppose you could say that.
You lived to tell the tale, did you not?
Yes, we did.
What other things have you survived? What has tasted your blade?
Various ambushes from assorted people and types, vagrants, vagabonds, bandits. He's
Undead.
gonna go listing undead. He's gonna start listing off every synonym for bandits there is. Welcome back.
Okay.
Sandwiches here.
Ah, sandwich, I love you. All the while during this, Catarib is trying to be very gentle, but you can still hear the clacks of the prongs of his fork. A bit of open-mouthed chewing as he puts in the vegetables alongside the meat. And gulps down. Your white wine has now been replaced for red.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention Bracken's been just down in wine. just every time, between like every third of the meal, he will just empty his glass, just fucking knock it back.
Okay, sounds good. So,
May I ask why you're so curious?
I am invested in those who saved the life of my daughter. Who knows what such miscreants could have done to her?
And that's the only reason.
It is reason enough. I am quite, as you have seen in my services, someone who is wanting to make sure all the information is available and on the board. It is how one must consider the situation to progress forward with the best chance of success.
With
So-
all due respect, it was just an unorganized goblin clan. It really wasn't too much effort. Your soldiers would have walked through them.
I am grateful for the flattery, but I do think that perhaps there was more than this than just unorganized goblins. The gangs of Atravenza can be a serious threat. As Cecil says this, you just see where, at the other side of the table, Caterib kind of wipes his mouth with the back of his hand and then wipes the back of the hand on the napkin.
Oh, honey, the napkin.
I used it.
I know you're. Watch. She'll kind of tap her mouth with her napkin.
How do you get, like, the wipe is how you get the juices off.
We'll work on it. I'm sure we'll have other dinners like this.
He nods.
Okay. Why does he think that goblins were unorganized?
Well, those ones kind of were.
They took your friend.
They
Okay.
did.
You need to have a plan for that. Plan's
right.
organized.
Sure, yeah.
It's just bigger
Yes.
people. And so you can beat them up.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on with Cecil right now. Maybe we can ask him later.
Caterib nods and then goes back to eating the meal. Any other conversations over the rothe and roasted vegetables? If not, then the third course is finished, cleared out, and what is brought out is your dessert. It is a chocolate mousse that is dusted with some sort of tea-like powder, perhaps matcha, though it is a bit lighter, a bit fresher. And another wine is poured, this one a dark and deeper red, to complement the rich flavor of the mousse.
Bracken digs into this one. You know, I've never seen a chocolate mousse before, but you guys must be pretty well connected. These is pretty good.
Created cave kill. Could roll a nature check. But it is Lysira who turns to you, Bracken. It is a specialty of one of our up-and-coming chefs. And when I arrived here, I asked if we could perhaps have this for dinner as a thank you for your servicings.
Done a good job. I figured mousse would be more gamey than this.
It is not the same type of mousse.
Well, yeah, it's made out of chocolate. I figured as much from the name.
Cecil's head is in his hands.
This was not a creature on four
You
legs.
telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Where's the picture of the shrimp frying rice?
Exact same energy.
There's a picture out there, I know it. Yeah, no, she, as you, present this, ideology, this interpretation of the set of words, Lysira gives a polite smile and turns to observing the rest of the dinner table. What is Cecil doing currently?
Trying to get over everything that Bracken just said. And finishing his mousse that he knows how to spell.
Okay.
Yeah, Moose.
What is Avi doing right now?
Avi is not leaning over to Cadreb, keeping an eye on him out of the corner, but very obviously using a spoon for the mousse.
You
and
see,
hoping that he picks up on it.
you see that he already has grabbed the spoon, but he has reverted back to the shovel hold.
Oh, bless him.
So
You know what? I'll let it slide.
Yeah. So he definitely kind of loads up the spoon before kind of leaning in and taking it. Very awkward looking. in the style of eating, especially compared to the rest of the table.
There's a very steady and rhythmic taint as Bracken's spoon is hitting the edge and scraping to get all the last bits.
Avi, what is your passive perception?
16.
Okay, you would be able to see this with every tink of Bracken's spoon. Tyvius, the husband's finger kind of taps at the same time.
Oh. Okay.
Just something you'd notice.
Sure.
Can I lean over to the mother and be like, they're not all used to this. I'm really sorry.
It is an experience that I am certain that they will remember for a bit of time, as I myself will. Tell me, you are experienced in such excursions?
You could say that.
Enlighten me. How often have you had such affairs?
Of dinner?
It could be dinner, or lunch, or anything else fitting.
I sat at this same kind of table at least once a day for most of my life.
You say most of your life. When did this change?
A few years back.
Presumably when you became an adventurer?
Not sure that's the word I would have used then, but I suppose it qualifies now.
Color me curious, what word would you have chosen for yourself?
Outcast? Exile?
Those are heavy words. They carry strong connotation.
Cecil stays quiet.
She watches a little bit longer. Cadrib then kind of leans up on his chair. Avi, so close you'd be able to see that Cadrib has mostly finished the moose. And as he speaks, he's leaning over the table, hands beyond his seating to Ansel.
Hey, you gonna finish your moose? It's really good.
Ansel, a little shocked, a little taken aback. I was planning on it.
Oh, okay.
And then Cadrib sits back down.
Cecil's trying real hard not to look at him. Question for the Game Master. How many books is he sitting on?
Who?
Cadrib. He's a little guy, right?
He is a small type creature. He does not have,
Mark Zuckerberg booster seat.
yeah, there's no books, but they do have a booster, as there are other small creature types that exist in Atravenza and are probably invited over for dinners of political,
Like Bracken and I.
like Bracken and
Yeah.
yourselves. You would have been offered a booster seat. Very sleek in its styling, so it's not like one of the kids' ones that you see at the movie theaters. It's posh.
Pinwheels coming out of it.
Thank you.
Fantasy booster seats for political services.
There you go.
It's got a big smiling sun and some pinwheels and like happy clouds and stuff.
Does not, at least not in this establishment.
It's got an airplane with a face.
My goodness.
What's an airplane?
Exactly.
But Moose is finished, and as it does, the dishes are pulled away. So too are the wine glasses, and you are left then as the servers return with the final course, um, a small bowl of mixed fruits, mixed nuts, um, meant to be served with a napkin. It's meant to be finger foods, but in a smaller, more dainty portion than what some of you may be accustomed to.
Eating it like trail mix, just, fistful at a time.
Lorcan snorts as he watches Bracken just trail mix it. Well, this has been very much a interesting conversation with all of you. But you are useful, effective. Allow me an assistance of my own. I will connect you with an officer in the Atravenzen Guard.
For what purpose?
Well, you have done good here today. Perhaps you would like to do more good. Or perhaps you are just passing through. But this is something small that I can do for you with very little on my end. And perhaps it can be a bonus to you all. To have someone who knows the city well, who knows its laws, her people.
That is very generous of you, and we will certainly take such an offer into consideration as an option.
It is at this moment that there is a knock upon the doors to the dining room. An attendant comes in and whispers into the ear of the lady, who gives a nod, and anyone with a passive perception of 14 or higher, save for Cecil, since you're right there, you can hear this. Show them in, is what the lady says as the attendant moves back to the door. And as the door opens, we are going to take our first ad break for the evening. So, stick around with us. We will be here returning very shortly to see who's on the other side of the door and what all is going to happen. But we will be back. We will see you all soon. All right, and welcome back. Dinner is coming to an end as you are on the final course. And it is at this point that a figure is coming through the doors, welcomed in by the Lady Lysira herself. And as the figure enters in, you see it is a cypress sprig, wearing what looks to be a high-ranking insignia of the city guard. A lieutenant, if you're not mistaken. Lysira stands. Ah, Dwinala. It is a surprise to see you here. And I am, you see, in the middle of hosting a dinner. I was unaware that there were others here. I may leave if this is no good a time. Ah, nonsense. We have a chair that is available. I will have someone fetch some of the last course for you.
It's
Anyway,
like dried fruits and nuts. You'll love it. It's great.
I'm sure. I've never had a disappointing meal here. And the figure sits at the empty table, putting himself, or the empty spot, putting himself next to Ansel and opposite of Cadrip. As Lysira sits down. Well, that offer that I was mentioning to you before. Allow me to make a introduction of Lieutenant Dwinala of the City Guard. Lieutenant, these are exceptional people who had assisted me in my efforts this evening to rescue my daughter.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. I've met many of your men already.
Oh, you have, such as...
Didn't get their names, but they liked my skills as a musician.
Avi stifled the laugh.
Then you are the one that has been performing the bongos, yes?
I am the one. I like the sound of that.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I will, make it aware to them that I have made your acquaintance.
Very good.
Does anyone else offer any introductions to Dwinalath?
Well, it's a pleasure. Avi.
Nice to meet you.
And you are? As he looks from Avi to where you sit, Bracken.
Debating a lot of things at the moment, if I'm being honest.
I did not ask you what you were doing, I asked who you are.
No, you asked. Well,
I'll have you know that I would refrain from telling any lies to someone of my rank.
ooh. Bracken's gonna look around the table a little bit and chuckle to himself, and look back and let me just. At the moment, I'm gonna sit on my name, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Is that because you are a fugitive?
No. At least not from around here.
Perhaps that you are worried of being extradited.
once this vacation's over, it's not going to be that big an issue.
And what is your name?
I can see that we're not going to move past this, and
Well, I need to
Instead,
know
it's
if
gonna
you are a threat to Atravenza.
I'm having dinner with one of their councils, aren't I?
That means very little in the fact that you have insinuated that you are a fugitive in the lands of Valdefera, perhaps not of the Court of Night or the Twilight District.
All right. If you're going to bust me up about it, I'm Bracken.
Thank you, Bracken. I will check with my sources to see if you are indeed a wanted fugitive that needs to be, perhaps, upon immediate capture.
Cool, you do that. I'm going to sit here and enjoy these candied fruits and nuts in the meantime.
Right. I do not believe that it will have to be so intense, Dwindleoth. They are guests here. They are friends. And I was hoping that perhaps you may be able to assist them if they have any needs here in the city. I will see what I am able to accomplish. If they call upon me. Though I am kept busy by Algria most of the time. Which is a familiar name to you all.
Yeah, it is.
Play cool. Play cool.
So, do you press upon the Algria comment, or?
I mean, if you don't mind sharing, what is it that they do that keeps you so busy?
A bit of this, a bit of that. Algria and her affiliations make a lot of messes that I and my crew must clean up. But if it wasn't us, then who else would it fall to?
It is unfortunate that there are people in this beautiful city that are intent on causing trouble.
There is, but not all of them. I may have landed that perhaps Algria is a troublemaker, but it is not in a way that is a concern of the city.
Hmm. Well, that's good at least.
Yes, Algria is a connection of a family friend, we shall say.
Hmm.
Well, I do not wish to take up any time from your guests, Lysira. I can make my return at a time more convenient. It was a pleasure to meet you all. Bracken, Cecil, Ovi, company. I will take my leave, but if you need of me, you may ask me at the guard barracks or elsewhere. Someone will know of a way to contact me.
Yeah, you seem like a real mensch. Have a good one, alright? Stay safe out there.
And you stay out of trouble.
No problems.
With that, Dwinalath will rise, having barely touched his nuts or fruit, and make his way out.
Was he at the empty seat?
He was at the empty seat. Well, I do believe that our dinner here has concluded, and I must see to some business. And I thank you for what you have done here today, and you are able then to, if you would like to retire to the guest house or take care of any of your own affairs.
Well, hey, thank you for the nice meal and your kind pager. It was really nice.
Of course. With that, you are excused from dinner. And Lyriantha, who has been quiet since her mother began to be more intensely questioning, I'll show you back to the guest house.
Sure, thanks.
So, as you are brought back, it is uneventful, at least of the house, but you can, of course, ask your guide questions. But you are brought back to where you had dropped off your belongings. I am sorry about my mother. Sometimes she just, doesn't quite know when to, stop the interrogations.
Mm.
It's understandable. We're new in the city, and she was probably trying to figure us out.
Well, I'm going to, be on my way. If you want to talk, you can... I'll let one of the staff know, and they'll alert me, or literally anything else. Have a good one. And Lyriantha kind of heads off. But what do you do?
Gonna go back to my belongings and make sure everything's in order.
Yeah, everything seems to be there.
Is it in the same manner as I left it?
It seems so.
You know what? I'm gonna ask another question. Is there anything extra there among our belongings?
Cecil does not find anything extra amongst his belongings. Bracken, do you look amongst yours?
I will. Well,
Nope. You don't see anything extra there.
Fair enough.
Was Cecil hiding the fact that he was watching Cadred during dinner?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, then Avi will approach Cecil. You doing all right?
I'm glad that we're all back together.
Yeah. Listen, I couldn't help but notice you, watching our new friend pretty intently. And he kind of picked up on something that you said and seemed to upset him a bit.
Upset him?
He was just wanting to know why you thought that goblins were unorganized.
It's their nature. How did you come to acquire this new friend?
Well, we were attacked, and he was hiding. He wasn't participating in the fight. He helped us.
Because the fight was already over? Or did he go there?
He was with that group that attacked us outside of that tavern. But he was hiding, waiting it out.
So he came with the group that came to attack us.
Yeah. And then he helped us.
And why did he help us?
I don't know, Cecil. Maybe because we were kind to him. Do you have
Look,
a problem with him being here?
I have a lot of problems with his kind.
Sure. You can have problems with his kind. But do you have a problem with him specifically? Because he's done nothing to you.
Not yet.
What makes you think he will?
Well, maybe the same reason why he decided to help. Maybe it wasn't kindness, maybe it was fear. He's quite small. Maybe it was just helping himself out of that situation.
I can tell this is a sore subject. I'm not going to push it if you don't want to talk about it at length. Give him a chance, yeah? Please?
Cadrip, come here, please.
Katarib moves away from where he was showing off his pretty clothes to Bracken, about how he didn't get one drop of meat sauce on it. And as he comes over, he looks, first to Avi and then to you.
Yeah.
Why did you help them when they found you?
They gave me pretty clothes. And they let me keep my teeth. Most people would just take the teeth and go.
What if those nice people that we had dinner with gave you prettier clothes? Would you do what they wanted?
I mean, it depends. They're big people, but so are you. So it depends on, like, if they, beat you up and then I had to do what they said, or else I'd have to use my shirt to clean up the guild hall. Like this It's just like a really big gang house meeting.
And since you've been with this new group,
Which
have you done
isn't a
anything
gang.
right? It's not a gang, it's not a clan, it's just a group.
Never
Have you...
been part of a clan before, just a gang.
Well, they're out there. Have you... Since you've been with this group, have you stolen anything?
I mean, I grabbed a few beers, but the pretty lady said that we don't do that.
Anything else? Anything in your pockets now?
No, just my pliers.
Goodness.
I
Why'd you
don't-
steal the beers?
Because normally, if you don't steal the beers, you don't get none. I'm very small, so the others, they beat me up, and so all my gold goes to the teeth. And so if I don't steal the beers, I don't get none.
Well, I'm pretty small too.
You've been part of a gang?
No.
And now you expect to get beat up by the bigger ones.
No, I don't. That big goblin boss, back where our friend was being held, just
Yeah.
because he was big doesn't mean that, he didn't win.
If you're the bigger one in the gang, then you usually just step on the other smaller ones, and because everyone's bigger than me, everyone stepped on me.
How did that work out for him?
Oh, that's different. You guys aren't a gang.
Wasn't he? And he's bigger than us. Or was.
You're just different. That's the thing. No one outside of the gang ever stepped into gang matters before. You're different. You're bigger peoples. And so I follow what you guys say.
What if there were bigger peoples than us?
It depends on what the bigger peoples are doing. If they beat me up and they take all my teeth, I don't think so. All the big people I've known before you guys would beat me up, make me use my shirt as rags, and just... You're different.
And he sort of stands closer to Avi as he says this.
Are you different?
I don't know. I've never been nothing than I was before, I've always just been the runt of the gang. Everyone just punched me around. I don't know what I am outside of that.
I'll look. I'll just kind of shoo him away. Thank you. Off you go.
Roll me an intimidation check, please. Before leaving, Cadrib just looks to you, Avi,
Don't let him screw with your pretty clothes.
Alright.
and he walks off back to where Bracken is and starts showing off the pretty clothes again to Bracken. Because as he said before, he doesn't think Bracken has very good fashion sense.
Wow.
Dang.
You're right, we should kick him in.
I'll look back to Avi now. So, he did steal.
He stole from the tavern, not from us. Only because he didn't know better.
That's right, he doesn't know better.
He does now.
Most of my life was spent fighting goblins. And you're right. A lot of times they don't know better. They're not always so unorganized, like I might have said before, but they can be cunning, conniving, very dangerous.
Cecil, I'm not asking you to change your mind about goblins as a whole. You seem pretty set in whatever you're gonna believe. But Cadrep is here. I don't know for how long, but he's here now.
What promises were made to him? He did help, like you said.
He's part of our group. That's as far as it's gone. He's promised we're pretty close. Just all I'm asking is that you try. Yeah?
It's not that I hate them all.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on them.
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure I can't do anything but that. Let's just hope no one else offers them shinier teeth and prettier clothes.
Alright, Cecil.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'll give a little glance over to where Lorcan is too. Whether he's looking or not.
Lorcan is not directly looking. He's watching where Cadrit is interacting and also kind of joining in with a little bit of teasing towards Bracken.
Seems like you have someone else that you might need to talk to. So I'll leave you alone.
No, I was just remembering something he said before.
Okay. I'm still gonna leave you alone.
Okay.
I'm gonna go find Ron.
Okay. Easy enough to find her. She and Ansel were having a conversation aside from all the craziness. And she smiles as you approach. It is good to finally be resting.
It is. I didn't think this day would ever end.
Well, it seems to have come to a pleasant end. We are no longer missing one of our own. Two of our own. And she glances over to where Cecil is. Is he all right? I saw you were conversing with him.
He's got a thing. He's not entirely happy that Cadre is here.
That is for Cecil to, I guess, work through. Well, I will leave you to for this evening. Thank you. all the for coming to our rescue.
Of course. You gotta thank me.
He smiles and gives a nod. But goes to find off his own area to rest down. Bracken, are you doing anything?
Not at the moment. I'm more, setting up my usual sleeping arrangements in the guest house. Beds are nice and all, but once you're used to something, you kind of want to stick with it.
As you're doing this, Caterip kind of looks up. Why you do that?
Because that's how I sleep.
Why?
Because that's comfy.
Why would you want to sleep where everyone can see you?
So if everything goes down, I'm ready. I can just roll out of this thing.
Yeah, but if everyone can see you, they're going to tie you up.
I'd like to see him try.
You see a bit of a not challenge come to his eyes, but like concern. It seems that he's worried
Around
for you.
in this building itself, maybe not, the most ideal. It's whatever. We're gonna be mostly safe here. It's when you're out and about in the wilds, you can put one of these really high up, and it's no trouble.
And then when you fall, you hit your face from really high up.
Yeah, well then I just use my.
What do you use?
And he seems
I
really
used-
curious.
I used to have wings, but nowadays not so much. So I gotta really start thinking that out a bit more.
Did you lose them?
Yeah.
In a card game?
No.
Did someone
was-
steal them?
No. It was.
Can we get them back?
No. It's its own thing. They're gone now. It was from another time. It's for the best.
Okay.
He seems a little sad for you now.
Any other questions, or can I get back to setting up my sleeping arrangements?
Well, if you don't have wings, why are you going to set it up high?
Because that's what I'm used to. That's what I do.
Even though when you fall, you're going to hit your face?
Even though when I fall, I'm gonna hit my face.
Okay.
He seems to leave it at that.
I'll look at him expectantly for like a couple, 15 seconds, and then I'll go back to what I was doing.
Caterip just kind of watches as everyone sort of sets up for bed. He seems intrigued. And then when everyone else is sort of set up, he just sits on the ground, someplace where he fits.
Are we all in one room, or are there separate rooms?
You're in a guest house, so
Mhm.
think it's almost like a studio, but it does have separate walls, but no walls are completely closing off the room, so it's more like just sort of little segments.
It's very
Gotcha.
open concept.
It's a very open concept.
European. Kid, not for nothing, but I'm sure there's a place for you to sleep. You don't have to curl up on the floor. There's probably a bed or a couch at least.
But it's what I know.
Fair enough.
If I'm on the ground when someone tries to take me out of bed, I'm already there.
Hey, fair enough. I'm not gonna question it. You got me on my own thing. You're right.
So, Caterib curls up there. Just in the middle of the floor. And, know that we're likely safe here. However, I think I'm still gonna sort of enact a watch. Lorcan says as he stands up from his seat. Just goes out to the moon porch.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, we don't really know that much about these people.
I can take a second watch.
I can do third.
Cadrib looks to you, Avi.
Do I watch?
Kind of look to Ron.
Ron shrugs of, let him do what he wants.
Sure, you can take it. Why don't you watch with Lorcan?
Okay.
And Cadrib kind of scurries out, following after Lorcan onto the moon porch. I will take watch with Avi, if that is alright with the rest of you. I'll take third watch. Comes from Olcus. So, first watch will be Cadrib and Lorcan. Nothing wrong can come out of that, right?
No, it's two guys getting along.
Just guys being dudes.
These guys being dudes. What could be better?
So, by the time that first watch has ended, and you, Avi, are being woken up, it is by Cadrib, who seems to be elated, and you see where Lorcan's, like, taking out, what looks to be some sort of knotted up hairdo. It seems that Cadrib had, gotten to his hair.
Oh.
You can, what languages do you speak, Avi?
Common, Elvish, Infernal.
Okay, cool. So you hear him muttering in some unknown language to you, probably Orcish.
Lorcan said that it's your turn for watch.
All right. Thank you. You get some rest.
Okay.
And he goes and finds, it's a different spot on the floor, but again, a spot on the floor where he fits and just kind of curls up and starts to sleep. Ron gives a very... It's not so much an interesting look, but one of curiosity as she passes by. And you all are able to get to the moon porch. And as you start your watch, go ahead, roll for me a perception check.
Oh.
So, Avi, what is on your mind that causes an 8?
Oh boy, there's a lot. There's everything at dinner with Cadrib, and that was a whole thing. But I feel like there have been a lot of missed opportunities with Ron. That's weighing on me.
You see where Ron is leaning out on the moon porch, looking over the city in the distance, and the pond that this estate overlooks. And the eternal night catches her in a way that makes this seem almost like a dream, but you know that you are awake. And she looks back to you. You think any harder and I might be able to hear your thoughts.
Hmm. Would you like to?
If you would like to share.
Mm. Yeah, all right. Not entirely sure how to dip into it, but you fluster me.
I hope that it is not bad.
No, it's not. It's in the best way. You make me nervous in a good way.
She reaches out to gently take hold of your hands, Avi. I must admit that I am nervous around you as well, Avisala. Nerves, however, are not a strong suit of mine. I rather approach things with an confidence, a level head.
Mm. Do you know how many times I've wanted to kiss you? So I've counted, and they stretch back further than you. Every time there's just a perfect moment. I chose. Say I'm tired or talk about how many fancy dinners in a row that we get.
As Ron looks down to you, Avi, in the moonlight out here, her voice low. Do you intend to keep on counting?
No. No kisser.
Ooh.
Ooh. You feel where she returns the kiss, presses it back against you. And it's not a intensity like a rushing river where it is a crash, but you feel the ever-present steadiness, like the intensity of climbing a mountain, knowing that there is this massive wonder of nature, but it is just a quiet intensity, as it seems that Ron indulges in this kiss in this moment. And as the two of you break apart, Ron doesn't go very far, and she just whispers, "Please do not let the amount of kissing that you would like to do grow to such a length."
I promise I won't.
And the rest of your watch goes by without incident as the two of you stay close. And from what Ron is able to see of the small wonders of the night, she points out to you, Avi. But soon it is time for our third watch. When you two return, Ulcus is already awake. And she seems to give you both a nod before going to find Cecil. And just kind of nudges your shoulder, Cecil, enough to wake you up for the watch.
I'll pop right up.
And then as you two head out onto the moon porch, go ahead, roll for me a perception check for your watch.
Oh no.
What is going on through your thoughts, Cecil?
Concern about Cadrib. Concern about other people's concern about my concern. Trying to balance the idea of telling more and thinking if it would even help. My little chat with Cadrib was innocent enough. I probably didn't detect anything particularly concerning. I agree that he just doesn't know any better. But it doesn't mean that he's not capable of more, like I've seen in the past.
All throughout your thoughts that kind of cloud your process of the watch this evening, you feel a sort of presence at the back of your neck as it seems someone is watching you. You're easily able to see that it is Ulcus. He is not particularly hiding the fact that he is watching you.
suppose there's not much else better to look at.
You know that he's beating himself over what happened, yeah?
Lorcan?
Logan. He cares about you.
Yeah, I care about him too.
Good. He's got a good heart.
The best?
You don't find many people like that these days. And with that, Ulcus pushes himself off of where he was standing at the wall, goes to the railing overlooking everything else. I can tell you're caught in your own thoughts. No need to explain them to me. I've lived long enough with secrets and stories and scars and whatever else you might want to call it.
Yeah, I noticed you're still with us. Even with the hack matter settled.
Perhaps I've taken a liking to your group. You've not asked me to leave.
No, I don't think we will either. I am sorry about Kiri.
She was just another person out there that I thought perhaps I could do some good. Earn some coin. It wasn't as close a bond as it's been made out to be.
That I know, but she deceived you longer than she deceived us.
That is true. But that deceit ended up getting me where I needed to be. It was a shame that I couldn't put an arrow through that. Well,
She got her due.
a world with less hags is a world for a better tomorrow.
That I could drink to.
I would drink to that as well. However, we do have a watch.
Yeah. Well, just remember for the next time.
For the next time.
Lorcan hasn't really spoken to me since I've returned from my brief time away. Has he said anything to anyone else?
Nothing of much to anyone, keeping it very casual.
Suppose I'll have to resolve that then.
What he has shared is that does not want to step out of line. He felt that perhaps he may have pushed too far in the depths of his emotion. So he's still intense and supportive as Lorcan is. But, yeah, I feel that he's taking perhaps a step back.
He probably did cross a line.
As people do.
But I know why. appreciate the heads up.
Of course. He's growing on me rather quickly. Quicker than a mold. I think I should be worried.
I have no idea what that means.
Don't worry too much about it.
You could have picked something other than mold.
I could have.
Okay then.
What are you gonna do about it?
It is an analogy that makes sense.
I'll go with you.
As I've said before, I've spent time in the Fagrim. The things that I've seen. Well, those would be their own stories.
Yeah, I bet we all have stories.
Some brighter than others. There's not much that happens over the evening and over your watch. And eventually your watch comes to an end and everyone can mark off a completed long rest.
Let's go.
And as you find yourselves in the morning, though it looks as a ever-present midnight, you are perhaps now able to begin the investigations, having avoided the ambush and attack from Tegwern and having rescued Ansel. Make your return to investigating this Jelaves figure. Agria has, of course, given the aid of the Glitterbow Bandits, which you can start off with heading to the Sprigganok Spiritual Lounge to see if perhaps there are any figures able to presently join you all in your efforts. As you are arriving there, Tontug and his crew, Round, Plim, and Weed, are ready to go. Oh, morning. You ain't got no fireball this time, right?
No fireballs.
Just messing with you. Gotta get over that, the burns there a bit. Sorry, that may have been too soon. Look, our crew, Agres told us to help you out. We can go to the lower reaches of Darkwood Leaf. Check out around in the more unscrupulous areas.
I imagine that's where we would find our query.
Potentially. But, oh, we'll look into that. We heard from Agria that she got some connections up in the Moonward Leaf now, yeah?
Seems so.
And at this moment, we are going to take a quick break here for our ads. So we will come back here very shortly to see what is going on here in the morning. But we will be right back to continue on with our story. See you all soon. Alrighty, so we are back in action. You are at the Sprigganok Spiritual Lounge. Tontug and his crew, Spround, Plim, and Weed, are heading out to, or preparing to head out to the lower reaches of the Dark Ward Leaf. They've not yet left. They have not yet left, but as you are doing this, a sending arrives in the mind of Bracken.
Hmm.
It is a voice that you met last night, as it is the voice of Dwinalath, and I will alert you that I have investigated your name, Bracken.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I will not be partaking in such petty triflings of personal issues. You are no threat to any major settlement.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
He doesn't hear all of this, as, again, the way this ending works.
Yeah, I do not care.
Yeah, no, I'm just, a second sending comes through.
Bracken doesn't know how magic works.
Yeah, no, a second sending comes through. I have assigned 2 officers to be your direct liaisons and for your group at the behest of the Lady Lysira. First Shrub and Winterleg. You'll be able to check any registers or guard reports for anything that you may need during your
Sorry,
stay.
those were Fur Shrub and Tinderleg?
First Rub and Winterleg. I'll write them in chat for
Fur
you.
Shrub and Winterleg.
Yeah. And any guard
Hot
reports
Tub and Tinderpeg, got it.
while your stay in Atravenza continues.
Awesome, thank you. And then he'll sign it like the dash underneath it, Bracken, like a parent sending text. Grand.
Were you all right, Bracken?
Yeah, I got messages from that guy last night. He hooked up some contacts and he also looked into me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, were you speaking while he was speaking?
I mean, yeah, it's a conversation, right?
No,
Oh, yeah, whatever. He got the
That-
most of it.
that's not how sending works, Bracken.
He got the messages. We're all good.
Okay.
Anyway, we got 2 liaisons down at the guard office.
Well, it would be up. You are in the
Up,
Dark
I
Ward
mean-
Leave. They are in the Moon Ward.
Up, down at the guard office.
Okay.
And you've got their names.
Yeah, it's Winter Leg and Hot Tub or something like that.
Outstanding.
Hot tub.
Birch Grove. Something like that. Somewhere in there.
Okay, great.
It's at this point that Agria, kind of overhearing this. I believe you mean first shrub.
Yeah, that's the one.
Winterleg and first shrub are often paired together. Well, if you need those two to whip in line, you can always, of course, frighten their superior, Dwinaloth, or you can drop my name.
Well, there we go. Simple as that.
Great.
At this point, Agria sets down, from where she had come from the back, a few bottles for you all. A bit of a show of my assistance for your group. No bad blood between us. These should help you if you find yourselves in needing a bit of health on your journeyings.
Thank you.
There is 3 potions of healing for you all, and 1 potion of greater healing.
Okay. You don't want me to hold on to those?
Sure.
Yeah.
Just put them in the bag.
All right. 4 potions into the bag. Do you do anything else here in the lounge before you head out?
Well, I think we have our destination, right?
Yep.
So, you head out. Tantag and his crew kind of join along with you as you leave the lounge, and Tantag, hands behind his head. So, where do you guys want us to head out first? I mean, we've got all the lower reaches, but, you guys are kind of new to the town. Got any place you want to try and check out?
I'm looking to Cecil. This is his bag.
Would I remember anything about Jelaves and where he might like to hang out?
So, you don't know too much about Jelaves. You recall a base sort of visual, but nothing of any sort of personality or details. And so,
Was there any place where people go to recruit gangs for jobs.
I mean, no, usually if jobs involving the gangs, it's the other way around. The gangs are recruiting you for jobs. I'm sure that there are people that call for gangs, but they usually have an inside person. That's how everything kind of comes through. Agria, she knows everybody, at least for when it comes to the glitter bow. I mean, you can always check out the Ironbark Towers.
Sure. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's the warehouse where the saboteurs kind of all hang out around.
Sounds like good a place as any.
Okay. So, do we split up then? Like, you guys go out to, the Ironbark Towers. We'll look around, the low reaches, see if, cover more ground.
Yeah, that works. I'll
We
give
can
him
go.
I'll give him a general description of Jelvis and Siltrick.
Well, I mean, we was looking after Siltrick for a while, but this Jellivis person, that's new.
Yeah, just a refresher, you know.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, we'll keep an eye out on both of them.
The Ironbark Towers it is then.
Okay. As you are pointed into the direction by Tanta of where the Ironbark Towers is, go ahead, roll for me insight or history. Bracken, you were supposed to get a 13.
Well, sorry.
Uh,
Best I can do is a 6.
uh, Bracken, with a 6, you know that you're looking at a rougher district of the Dark Ward Leaf?
Got it.
What's kind of coming to you. Avi, Cecil, from the small amount of time that you've been here, and sort of heard around, the area that you've been directed towards of Dark Ward Leaf, particularly unfriendly to anyone who hasn't been vetted as either a troublemaker or gang member. It doesn't really matter what gang you're a part of. In this area, if you aren't a part of a gang, you're just labeled as a goody-goody, and probably will stick out a bit as a sore thumb.
Okay. So you know how we talked about how we're not a gang?
Yeah, you said that you're not a gang.
Okay, we're gonna pretend we're a gang.
What does that mean? I'm gonna have to take off my shirt?
No, you're not gonna have to take off your shirt. We're just pretending.
Am I gonna have to take out my teeth?
No, absolutely not. We're, we're just playing make believe.
What's that?
Well, it's when you pretend you're something you're not.
Well, what's pretending?
Okay, so when I was younger, and I was still living at home, um, I tell my little sisters stories, and sometimes I pretend to be the bad guy from the story. Just acting like something that I wasn't.
So, like, if I acted like a big guy.
Mhm.
But there's no little guys around me. No one littler than me.
There might be.
There isn't. I've always been the littlest.
There are people in this world that are smaller than you.
I've not seen one.
Not yet.
There's maybe like a lizard that's little. Bugs, they're little.
Yeah,
Frogs are little.
they are.
But they're my friends.
Okay, I can see where we're.
I don't want to be a big guy. Big guys, they hurt the little guys. Except for you, you're different.
Okay. So pretend to be someone like me.
You see the thought process go on in Cadrib's head, and then like he like brushes all of his hair back and like shakes it out, and
Okay. That means I use the silverware.
and he kind of looks up for like a nod,
Uh-huh.
saying that he used the right word.
And you use it gently.
Right.
And you don't shovel everything in your mouth. And that's how you be one of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He seems confident now.
Okay.
What about the rest of you, as you hear that you are going into a rougher section of the Dark Wardleaf?
Walk in with Warhammer out, trying to intimidate people. Anyone who looks at us.
Roll an intimidation check.
But I'm not good at that.
You seem to catch a few eyes as you move into this area. They see that you step out with your weapon, and you see that they always make kind of grabs for their own. Make sure that you know that they're watching you. They do not seem particularly intimidated. As you are perhaps maybe a few minutes into this territory, a collection of figures walk up to you, each with their own weaponry, kind of trying to play off the intimidation of you folks here. They definitely have a bit of a numbers advantage, though they don't surround you.
Hey, fellas. I think we got a couple of people lost here.
The one at the front sort of calls out to the others. And as they turn to face towards you, this is where we're going to pause our session. And we will pick up here next week as we continue our story. But until then, head over to wildewitch.com. That is our website. That's WILDEWITCH.com. It's got all the fun things we've got going on, as well as all the ways you can find us on the internet, including the invite link to our Discord to join us, hang out, playing some games, and, just we'd love to see you there. While you're also on the internet, we have Sirenscape. Sirenscape helps us out, provides all of our background and music, our ambiance, our sad trombone, to play during dramatically appropriate times. You can check out all that they can do for you and your table at their website, sirenscape.com. And, as always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.